Hello and welcome to Kion Lab. Today we'll see some of the definitions required to design entity relationship model in database management system. So first definition, before going to the definitions, ER model, why we require the ER model? They are useful in mapping the meanings and interaction of the real world enterprises onto a conceptual schema. So some real life information we have that can be mapped into the concepts in entity relationship model. So first definition is entity. So entity is a thing or object in the real world that is distinguishable from all other objects. So person in the university is an entity. It can be uniquely identified. You can have a tree, so type of a tree, its uses. So tree can be a entity, a car can be entity, and if the information is given, you can find out the nouns in that information, and all those respective nouns can be entities. So entities can be uniquely identified. Second definition is entity type. Collection of entities that all have the same attributes. Example is person, car, customer. So if there are 5 persons, they are going to share the same entity type. So whatever the person has been described by its attributes, so each person can be identified with the same type of attributes. So it is called as the entity type, means they are sharing, all those are having the same type of entities. Entity set, collection of entities of a particular entity type at any point in time. Entity set is typically referred to using the same name as an entity type. So instructor entity set is an instructor, entity set is a student. So entity set, so this is, suppose the instructor, so instructor 1, instructor 2, instructor 3, so on and so forth. These have been called as the entity set, which they are going to share a same information. Attribute, an attribute is represented by a set of attributes or set of information. So entity is identified by the set of attributes. So if you have a person, it can be identified by these parameters named as entity, that is equal to name, age, so on and so forth. Next is the relationship. So it can be combined or the association of two entities or more than two entities. It can be called as the relationship. So this is entity 1, entity 2, and this is relation amongst this two entity. So here I have this relationship. So here the example is mentioned, customer Smith orders product PC4. So this is the entity customer, this is the entity product, and this is relationship name, orders. So here I have the customer Smith, that is the instance, and the product name PC42. So there is a product ID, that is PC42, and Smith orders PC4. So this is a relationship between two entities, or it is the instance actual contains. Relationship set, it is the collection of similar relationship. So here earlier you have seen the example, customer orders product. So Smith orders PC4, then any other cats order PC16. So this is nothing but a entity, relationship set. They can have or they can share the same relationship. So collection of similar relationship. Formally, it is a formal definition. It is a mathematical relation on n is greater than or equal to 2, possibly non-distinct entity set. So it can be on different entity sets more than 2 or equal to 2. If even E2 up to En are entity sets, then a relationship set R is a subset of even E2 up to En such that E1 belongs to capital E1, E2 belongs to capital E2, and En belongs to capital En. R is the subset of E1 to En, where E1 belongs to respective entity sets, and E1, E2 up to En is the relationship set. So here you can have the example: customer and their relationship set and account entity. So customer has depositor A102. So here this is the entity, Hayes is the entity, A102 is the entity, and this is the relationship set. So relationship set Hayes A2 is the subset of depositor. Similarly, many information can be a relationship set. So here you can observe customer and account, these two entities, and they can relate through depositor, that is their access date. So here you can observe customer name and their respective access date. So this is been called as a relationship set. They can have similar information. Next definition we can have degree of relationship. So degree gives you the number of participants in the relationship. So the number of entities participate in the relationship. Depending on that, it can be it can have their degree. So suppose two entities are participating in the relationship set, then it is been called as the binary. Its degree is binary. So this is entity 1, entity 2, and this is relationship. So two entities are participating, it is called binary. And if it is more than that, suppose there are 3 entities are participating in the relationship, this is been called as ternary. So depending on the entities participating in the relationship, it has been called as their respective degree. So roles of the relationship: the way in which an entity participate in the relationship. The same entity type can participate more than once in the relationship. So what type of participation, the entities which are taking what type of participation in the relationship, depending on their role varies. So here are the example you can have: employees reports to. Employees is the entity and reports to is the relationship. Now employee reports to its subordinate. They can be subordinate, and if it is going to report it, he can be a supervisor. So the employee entity can be can have 2 roles, either a subordinate or the supervisor. If he is a higher position, then it is the supervisor, and if they are working together, they are the subordinate. Depending on their role differentiates. So this is all together we have talked about the relationship, some of the definitions. That is, we have started from entity, we have started from relationship, their relationship set, type, similarly entity type, and attributes. So this is today's we can in this way we can summarize the today's session. If you like my video, please share and subscribe it. Thank you.